Where's your first one of that right now?
First one of that.
First GT4. Where's your first GT4 that you stepped and ordered?
It's at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, have you seen this car? This is my original one.
I like this little ducktail spoiler you put on it.
Yeah, that was refinement over time.
Now, where do you drive this one at? This one, you don't, I've never seen you at
Harris Hill.
Dakota.
And whenever I would break a car, when I had just the Caymans, I would take this one out and run it.
The fit and finish on these carbon never quite, this one looks pretty good though.
Yeah, that's some probably Chinese carbon. Yeah, so this thing's crazy. So the original motor that was in here, I blew up. So originally the motor has 12.5 to 1 compression, and I put a supercharger on it right here, right? And so I was running it out of Coda, trying to keep up with the Caymans, and I was running MS-109 through it, so 109 octane fuel to keep it from pre-detonating, and I blew the motor up. It totally blendered the inside of the motor. There was only like 2 pistons left, okay? And I ran it for a while with just 2 pistons.
How long was this?
Oh, this is probably like 2013, maybe something like that. So I came in. I think I pulled off in the carousel, and they towed me in. And then the guy that was there from Flamingo was like, maybe it's just a sensor problem.
No.
He said, go ahead and fire it up again. So I fired it up again, and the thing started with 2 pistons in it, and the guts of the thing in the bottom of the oil pan, and it ran with 2 pistons. So anyway, so I brought it over to my mechanic who then pulled the motor out, shipped it up to a company up in Minnesota, and they tore it all apart, and they rebuilt it as a 10-to-1 compression engine. And it's all built now.
What's your game plan with this? Keep it?
Yeah, it's for sliding around, it's great. You know, like on a wet day, you can take it out and slide all over the place. It's a blast. And it still makes like let me think about this. It makes about 300 to the ground.
Huh.
And it weighs nothing.
See, this is what I didn't like about this, is how dirty it gets.
I just take them home and just throw them in the washing machine and wash them up.
Do you wash them or do you wash them?
I wash them.
Okay, that's good. This looks freaking good.
Yeah, so this one's still pretty clean.
What is this?
Got the dive planes on it.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Cayman R.
But I think you just had it rewrapped or something.
No, well, I changed the hood probably a couple years ago.
You think you're ever selling this?
No, because now it's going up in value.
What's this worth now?
During the pandemic, it was worth 100. I think it's worth about 80 now. Because this is the lightest. This is the lightest Cayman they made in that era. It has an aluminum roof, aluminum doors.
Where's your first one of that right now?
First one of that.
First GT4. Where's your first GT4 that you stepped and ordered?
It's at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, it's part of a coral reef right now.
Yeah. Along with a bunch of
off of Spain.
Bentleys and Lamborghinis.
Yeah. So that's pretty.
What was the name of that ship that went down?
I said it so many times that it probably should be baked in my brain by now.
I just thought it was hilarious that you were tracking it and like so excited.
I was literally tracking the boat.
And then the boat just stopped. And paused, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Send me a text message of it screenshotted like, uh-oh. And then the news comes out. And then you see it like start to go back, and then it just stops. It just disappears.
It burned for a week.
Yeah.
And I figured these cars are only like 49 inches tall. And if you look at those boats, they're like 7 or 8 stories, right?
A stack.
And there's most of it's below the ocean. It's below the water level, right? And so if you look at the tours of them, the lowest ceilings are at the very bottom.
Oh.
So the sports cars, plus mine was going to be the last off the boat because it's going to come out of Houston. So I figured it's going to be down way below the water line. So I was thinking there's still a chance. There's still a chance they're going to drag it back to Spain and my car will be okay. And then they finally got the fire out. And they said, yeah, it's pretty bad. And they put some people on the boat and they walked around. They're like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And they didn't really say what happened. And then they started dragging it back to a port where they could.
But it didn't make it.
And then the weather came up or something and started listing, and then it sank. So then everything else that was on it went to the bottom. So you never know. But it's hard to believe a car exactly like that one is sitting at the bottom of the ocean right now. Same spec.
Anybody can go and get it if they want.
Yeah.
Isn't it like open treasure if it's on the bottom of the...
I think so, but it's deep. Yeah. And there's a lot of cars down there.
How much time did that take for you to
They didn't put us back at the front of the line, even though they kind of acted like they said they were going to. So it went to the bottom of the ocean in March. And I think I got that one in like October. So they didn't produce it until like June, July, something like that. So I had to wait another half year.
And I need to do, on the GT3, I want to, like what we did to recline these seats back a little bit. But Chris said there was a different one that he used.
Yeah, it's in that car.
He says it's easier to put in.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that true?
Let me grab my keys. So this is the bolt that I found.
Yeah.
And see how
that's the one that I have in mind, right?
And he didn't like these as much. He said it was harder to deal with them and stuff. So that's the one I found first, and most people were using this one.
And then I still need to get these probably.
So it is right here. And you can't even see it. See, it's down inside there.
And he liked that better.
He says way better engineered. And you look at it, you can't even see it.
I need to know the brand of that.
Yeah.
I need to order one.
Yeah. So he told me that one, and so I got that one for this car. It puts it back at about the same angle, and it looks a lot better. And he says way easier to deal with.
Did you get the little wrap things for this?
Yeah.
Too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He says. I know you're gonna hate this idea, but I think I might pull out the seats in the GT3. Pull out these seats.
And do what?
18-way? Can you do? I asked Chris. He's looking in to see if it's even feasible, if you can do it or not. But
I know when I was looking at GT3s back in the 991 era, they had a lot of cars coming out of the factory with the 18-ways in them, and they were offering them to me. And I was like, well, then I have to switch the seats to carbon buckets. So I said, what are those costs? And they were like, oh, go parts department, we can get that. And they go back and they had $26,000.
Really?
What? $26,000. It's a $4,000 factory option. And he goes, yeah, it's $26,000.
Well, and even on the GT3 and some of these, I think, well, no, the GT3 it was an option. But if I'm speccing, for instance, like a Dakar or something, it's the same price. Like there's not. I think they option them with assuming you're going to get the sport bucket, and then if you go 18-way, there's no.
It's zero.
It's zero, which really means you're losing money because if you give up these seats, why are these more desirable? Do you think because they hold you in better?
Yeah, for the track they hold you in. You can put a 4-point or 6-point harness on them, which you can on an 18-way. I've seen people cut holes through the damn 18-ways.
But no one wants to do. I mean, you got to admit it's very inconvenient to use these seats.
To get in and out?
Yes. Like your wife, like I take my wife out and we'll pull up somewhere and we open this door and she's in a skirt and she's like, has to like swing out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a little inconvenient.
No, but
it's 18-way, so you can adjust.
it's not for the street. It's a track seat. It weighs a lot less.
Why do you need 4 track seat cars? Like you have 4 cars.
That's the way they're designed.
All right.
Yeah, look at these seats here.
What were these in the original?
The GT2 RS. So those are the seats that were in those, and they're
valuable, aren't they?
Yes,
you could resell these things for
they're like $30-some thousand.
That's almost more than the car's worth.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, this is the Cayman R.
This is the R.
Oh, look at that.
So it's super lightweight, and this feels noticeably more agile than that car.
Really?
Yeah, noticeably more agile.
Did you put in this cage?
I got it from a guy
and
who put the cage in. Yeah. So
do you feel like I need to put a cage in the GT3?
It'd just be for looks.
Unless I track it.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to track it, then you need. I wouldn't track a car without harnesses. See, the guy already put the cage and the harnesses in this one when I got it. So it had like, I don't know, 15,000, 14,000 miles on it.
How much longer on the WRX? You think you own that till the day you die?
Josh sold his, my son.
So does he want to buy this?
No, but he bought his for 38,
Yeah.
and he sold it for 33. 5 years later, with 60,000 miles on it.
What do you think this is worth?
I bet you I could sell it for almost what I paid for it. It's crazy because they don't make those anymore.
But you won't go electric because
Nah.
because of the shame
Yeah.
involved. Shame.
Soulless car.
That's why you just put a speaker in it, and then
And then pump like
some
sound
some
of an
Tupac.
engine,
Yeah,
of an engine in there.
it does have that.
Ah!
option.
Yeah.
It looks good though.